Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. A good Chodesh. As today is Rosh Chodesh Kislev, instead of sharing something on the Parsha, I'll share a Sicha that the Rebbe shared on the day of Rosh Chodesh Kislev, Tafshin 1’s, with again a very revolutionary, life-changing point. The Rebbe sets forth that the Jews are compared to the moon, and Rosh Chodesh is when the moon goes from being dark, aligning with the sun so you can't see it, and starts emerging. You start seeing a bit of the moon by the Moiled. The moon starts being visible again, a little bit. And at that point, by Rosh Chodesh, that represents the Ur of Geula. As we say during the Kiddush Levana, that the Jews during the Geula will be renewed, like the moon is renewed. In other words, the renewal of the moon represents the Ur of Geula. Now the Rebbe asks the obvious question. We may all ask this question. We'd imagine that a full moon expresses Geula much more than a tiny sliver of a moon. Like we know from Shlomo HaMelech, it was the best time in Jewish history until Mashiach's times. That was compared to the full moon. So why are we saying that the Moilad of the moon represents the Ur of Geula, if seemingly you have much more Ur and you have much more moon on day 15 when the moon is full? What is it about the sliver? And the Rebbe answers that Geula is ultimately about expressing Hashem to this world, and Hashem is infinite. And no matter how big of a moon you have, that moon is finite, limited, and it could only express limited amounts of godliness. Where could you find infinity? You could find infinity in the jump from 0 to 1. When 0 starts becoming 1, when from nothing something starts emerging, that's where you have infinity. You don't have any quantifiable, detailed numbers yet. The numbers didn't start. But from 0, something started emerging. Then it emerges 10 million, 50 million. No matter how great of a number you're getting, numbers are limited. But the jump from 0 to something, that is unlimited. So let's give a example for that. Where do you see life more? In an adult person who's developed, has a family, successful, or right when a baby is born? Through limited lenses, we're going to say the adult. He has his life. Look, this is what life is. He's made it. He's succeeded. But that's a very limited perception of life. That's life the way it's quantifiable. Financial success, family, friends, social status, etc. The freshness, the infinity of life is found in just a baby being born and hearing its cry. Before it's jellied into anything specific. Life just came, fresh, infinity and full of possibility. A marriage also. And no matter how great a marriage is nothing like the beginning of a marriage, which is we've just begun a union together. Even if it gets better, not that it fizzles out, chas v'shalom, but even as a marriage gets better, it becomes somewhat predictable, quantifiable, jellies into certain routines, but the way it emerges from individuals to couple has that freshness and infinity. Infinity comes in from 0s to 1s. So a lesson we need to take from this is not to be intimidated by our 0s. A lot of Jews, Bachurim, married people feel numb, Jewishly numb, feelingless, or when's the last time I watched Nagavas, or when's the last time I said Chitas, and just have a bunch of 0s, have a bunch of voids, and have a bunch of darkness. Darkness is an important prerequisite for Geula to emerge. We're a generation, Mashiach's generation is a generation of binary numbers, like computer coding, which is made out of 0s and 1s. Geula doesn't come with 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, the fancy stuff, davening for hours. Those are nice. We don't have too much of that anymore. We have 0s, and we try making 1s out of them. And in the space between 0 and 1 is where infinity comes out. So we should embrace our 0s, or not give up because of our 0s. The 0s need to be there for us to make them 1s. And in that space, Geula and infinity could come out. Just to end with a quick vart, someone one time came to Zal by us to Fabrang, Rabbi Reuven Wolf from California. He said, what is it about the Rebbe that the Rebbe took over the world like this, captured people so much? What about any other tzaddik? And he said the difference is every tzaddik was looking for light, was looking for spiritual brilliance. The Rebbe was looking for darkness. The more darkness you had, the more he wanted you. Because the more you'd be able to impact this world, and the more you could turn your darkness to light. And infinity is not found in fancy light. It's found in darkness gone light. We should take something out of this. We should have a wonderful Chodesh and a wonderful Shabbos.